Okay guys, welcome back. So after showing you the best budget decks that you can use for a Legend Anthology, here today I will show you 3 full power decks that I think are three of the best decks that you can take to the event if you have the cards for them. And what you will see here, and we are starting with full power Salamangreat, is that there is a core that I would suggest always playing if you have it, since these are the best non-engine cards that you could play, namely DD Crow, which would be the worst one, but it's the one that we have available. Triple Effect Veiler and Triple Imperm, if you have it, you should definitely play this. And then we have Red Reboot, which I would suggest you play, since you will face a lot of of Exodia players, which have this very impactful trap card that we'll also take a look at in a second here, which can destroy the entire board, which is why Red Reboot is so good. Also, I think that Harpy's Feather Duster is a really nice non-engine that you should put in here for the exact same reason. Otherwise, you will have a hard time going second into the Exodia deck, which probably will be around a lot. And then we have the Book of Eclipses, which also I think is quite nice, especially you can play it here in Salamangreat because you have link monsters on the end board, like your Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, which are basically unaffected by the book. So I think this makes sense. And then I also have, just to remind you, and this you can also put in other decks, the Fantastical Dragon Phantasme is also available in this event. So if you are facing a lot of link decks, a lot of Salamangreat decks maybe, then you might consider putting in the Phantasmes over something like DD Crows, just to have a better matchup. But this is something that you have to take a bit care of. You have to be aware of what you are facing. Otherwise, I think full power Salamangreat is very strong. We are playing triple DD Crow, triple Effect Veiler, then 1 Mir. We are playing 2, or you could also play 3 if you have it. Salamangreat of Fire also is an ultra rare, but it's very good. We have backup Secretary, the Flame Buffalo for draws, Salamangreat Foxy, which is one of our best starters if we don't have multiple Gazelles. We obviously have a Gazelle, we have the Spinny, we have 1 Weasel, Lady Debug, also a great starter. Put it in at 3 if you have it, or if you can craft it. A Salamangreat Falco, we have 1 Salamangreat Jaguar, 1 Fowl, we have triple Phantasme, but as already said, this is more of an addition, so go ahead and check out what is it you are facing, and if you are facing a lot of Salamangreat or other link decks, then go ahead and play the Phantasme. 1 Duster, I think this is very important and near mandatory in this event. 2 Silent Mining, just to get our start going. Salamangreat Sanctuary, you only need 1 here. 2 Will of the Salamangreat, able to basically flood your boards with Salamangreat bodies. We have 3 Book of Eclipses. If you don't want to play them, you can put them out, but I think they are quite nice, especially because you are a link deck. We have 1 Circle, 1 Salamangreat Charge, triple Imperm, the best hand trap in this format, I think, overall. And then we have 1 Salamangreat Rage. We have the Red Reboots. If you have them, I think they will come in very handy here. Salamangreat War, which you want to have up on your end board together with a Sunlight Wolf if you can. Then we're playing 1 Salamangreat Violet Chimera, which we normally don't play, but in this case we definitely can. 1 Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, very strong, that you can make in here. We have 1 Salamangreat Midra Stalio. We have triple Bailings, 1 Cyber's Wicked, 2 Sunlight Wolf, very good card here. 1 Proxy F Magician. If you can, you should also establish Pit Knight early on your end board, since if this card points to any other card, if the other card then activate its effect, for example a Sunlight Wolf, then you can also negate something. A Salamangreat Heat Leo, and very important, and not in the budget variant. Basically, if you have not seen the budget video, go check that out in the top right corner. But Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, which you definitely want to get into your graveyard, so that if your opponent special summons a monster, that you then can destroy one of your fire monsters to destroy one of your opponent's monsters. This will also gain the attack points of the destroyed fire monster from your board. So this is a very strong card in finishing your opponent, but also in interrupting your opponent on playing on his turn. So an important card that you should definitely max out at 2 if you have the Salamangreat cards. And now let me show you another deck that I think is also very strong and will probably, I think, dominate this event. So here's the deck that I think will be the most powerful. There's also a very good budget option that you can just get for free, the Loner deck for this Exodia event, but also it is not quite expensive if you want to play the full power version, since the Sangajin, which you normally would want to play at 3, is only at 1. So if you have 1 Sangajin, like for example I have, because I just pulled from the pack, unfortunately only have 1 Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, and I guess you want at least 2, 3 is obviously better, then you could also go and play this deck at full power. And if you're wondering, the rest of the extra deck is empty because you can put in whatever here. The only important thing is that you, if you can, play triple the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, since you can actually establish multiple multiple of these, and they can all once per turn negate a spell trap. So this is not once per Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, but once per copy on the field. So if you establish 3 of the guys, then they can do this 3 times. Also, they have the ability to basically gain attack points equal to your life points, and if you have 3, then you can make this 3 times. So you have maybe if you have 8,000 life points left, you can make all of them gain in the battle phase 8,000 attack, and then obviously most likely win the game. We are playing 1 pot of Extravagance in here, so we can banish the rest of the extra deck to draw. This makes sense. Obviously playing all of the Exodia plus the head. Once again, the DD Crows and the Effect Veilers, as well as the Imperms and the Red Reboot. Note here that I don't have the books in here. I have the Chalices in here, which I think is also very nice. You can definitely decide whether you want to play the books or the Chalices. So if you're wondering, the Chalices are basically Imperms for cheap, but we only have them, so we need to use them. You can negate with them. So if you're going first, they are basically like Imperms. If you're going second, unfortunately, they are not like Imperms since you can't activate them from hand, but they are very nice, and because we don't have any other important hand traps, you can definitely use them. You could also go ahead and play Book of Eclipses if you wanted to. I think the books are better in the Salamangreat deck, but this is your choice. Now we're playing triple Shield of the Millennium Dynasty. Everything that we are playing in here is to maximize our chance of getting Millennium Ankh to establish our Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate. If you don't know how the combo works, go check out my combo guide. We have 1 triple Golem that guards the Millennium also to get to the Ankh. Then we have our Sengenjin getting to the Ankh. We have triple Heart of the Blue Eyes, very nice. This is also only a super rare. And in the graveyard, this is actually quite nice, since if your opponent summons or special summons a monster that is level 8 or has a 3000 or more attack, you can also send that monster to the graveyard and special summon the Heart of the Blue Eyes, which is then a basic Blue Eyes with a lot of attack points. 1 Duster, just because everyone will be playing Exod's Fire of Rage. This is the card that you want to Red Reboot. This is the card that you want to Duster, so very important here also. Triple Millennium Ankh, obviously triple Weiju Temple getting us to the Ankh. Then I talked about the Chalice already. This Obliterate Blaze can help you finish the game, but the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate can also just do it on its own, since it can gain your life points as attack points, but this can definitely help and make your Exodia even stronger, also giving a piercing damage. Triple Infirm, 2 Exod's Fire of Rage, because there will be times when you can set up a multiple of these. So maybe going first, you set up 1, destroy your opponent's board. They might break this board, and maybe your Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate is left on your board, and then can, in the end phase, set another one, clear the board once again, and then finish the game. And then the Red Reboots, once again, if you don't have them, go ahead and put in Book of Eclipses. Then the 3 Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, and once again, fill the rest of the extra deck with whatever. There are definitely cards that you could play. For example, you could play like XYZ's level 5 or level 6s, but the thing is that you will blow up your entire board, everything that is not Millennium basically, once you summon Exodia Incarnate with your Ankh. So this does not really make sense, which is why you can also don't fill the extra deck with anything useful, but only with cards that can be banished via the Pot of Extravagance. And now let me show you the 3rd deck, which I think is crazy that this deck is allowed at this level here in the event, but I think the Exodia deck might be better overall, but I will also show you the other deck. And here's the deck that I am really confused why we have this at basically full power. Melodious. We unfortunately only have a Refrain at 1 and the Ostinato at 1, which we would definitely play or want to play more of if we can. But other important cards like the First Movement Solo are here at 3. We also have the Couplet at 3, which is not that bad of a starter. So yeah, this deck is pretty powerful, and I will address this ultra rare bunch in the extra deck in a second here. Once again, we are playing the Crow as well as the Veilers, the Imperms and the Red Reboots, as well as the Book of Eclipses, once again the Duster for the Millennium game basically. You can also, and this is why I put this in here, you can also go ahead and play Cosmic Cyclones. They are also in here. I just think they are worse than other options, but you could, since this also destroys Exod's Fire of Rage from the Millennium player. I think it's a bit worse, but this still works. So you could also go ahead and play the Cyclones if you wanted to counter Millennium if you face it a lot. Once again, there are the Chalices in here, and then Pot of Desires as well as Pot of Extravagance. We have a lot of multiples in the deck, so I think you can get away with Pot of Desires. This can backfire though if, for example, you get rid of your Refrain. This is a bit sad since this is your best normal summon, but can definitely work. You can also put this out for another hand trap if you wanted to. So we are playing these cards that I just mentioned. Then triple Sonata, we are playing 1 Aria, 1 Canon, triple Soprano because she's very nice, 1 Chopina to add stuff back from the graveyard, 1 Refrain, we would like more, but it's only 1, so it's fine. Triple Couplet, we have the Duster, first move on solo, very great starter here. Our best one basically, besides the one Ostinato. Pot of Desires, Ostinato, then Pot of Extravagance, 1 Melodious Concerto, 2 Search with the Couplet, triple Book of Eclipse, triple Forbidden Chalice, 2 Cyclones, as I already said, you can change these out for whatever, triple Imperm and then Red Reboot if you have, and then you should max out on your Melodious cards in your extra deck as much as you can, I would say. We have triple Schuberta, which is only rare, then Bloom Diva, you don't need 3 of this, but if we are playing this Pot of Extravagance to banish stuff from our extra deck, you definitely want as much in here as you can. Triple Baka, this is the most important one that we don't want to banish multiple times if we can. Then Flowering Itwal, our end boss monster, if you can end up on the Itwal, then it's basically game, I would say, against most of the decks. And then you can definitely go ahead and craft triple Bloom Harmonist just to be safer from your Pot of Extravagance banish stuff. But obviously you could also go ahead and put in other stuff here if you don't have multiples of these ultra rares, and that's not a problem. Don't go ahead and craft a lot of stuff for the event. This is just a waste of money, as you might know if you have played events before, but I think Melodious is also extremely strong and crazy that we have it at such a full power point as we do here in the game. So let me know if you have any further questions for the event. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing, hitting a thumbs up and the notification bell. Otherwise, I wish you a lot of fun in the event, and we will also covering the next event when it comes live.